So we will move on. Next is old business. Seeing as we have none, or do we have old business? Oh, yes, we did. Okay, that I got the wrong copy. So we do have old business, and tonight that would be the public safety hearing on Camp Hope that was held back in May. Councilman Soha.
Thank you, Chair Flynn. I asked Dave to move this and put it under old business because of the what was said at the meeting, and I wanted us to discuss it as a council and for the public to understand. So I'm just going to mark the notes here, and I also, there's something I'll add at the end that I wanted to make sure the community knows about. So we had the public safety meeting on May 22nd, yeah, and we had a few people come in from the Apple Run Apartments and made some statements about what their lifestyle had been over the last 2 years since Camp Hope opened, and they were pretty shocking in their revelation. Now, I do appreciate Missy and the letter that she sent. I have it here. Forgive me. Of course, it's the third one. So she hired a representative from Orkin to do a study, and he was adamant that during his inspection he didn't find any evidence of rodents on the property in the second paragraph. And this will be added to the minutes of the meeting. But at the same time, I did want council to know that the residents of the Apple Run Apartments are very upset with the relationship that's happening there. They don't feel like Missy's been a good neighbor from what they suggested or stated at the public safety meeting, because of the trash, the loud noise, the fires, the coarse language, what the one gentleman said tonight, that people using the woods behind the Apple Run Apartments as their own personal dumping grounds and for a restroom. These are things that just, having respect for our neighbors is, that's something that we should all cherish and fight for. And I don't think leaving trash around or urinating in a wooded area is respecting our neighbors. Additionally, they, the marijuana, I mean, that's a different thing, but since between January 1st of 23 and May 22nd of 25, we had 28 police calls and 42 fire calls to that one address. That's a struggle. We had a similar thing happen here at Waldron and Hillsdale at the home that's boarded up recently, that there was an extraordinary number of police calls to that specific address. And these are things that are taxing our resources. And it said most of the fire runs were medical in nature. Additionally, the ladies that were here last time, and I don't know for certain, but that testified that Camp Hope had helped them out. I've been told, and I haven't verified this, and I would appreciate verification, but that they hadn't been there just for weeks, but for years, from the entire time that the camp's been opened. And my understanding was it was going to be a temporary solution to help get people back on their feet and off of the streets, out of homelessness. And I know these things take time, which is one of the reasons I have issues with the way that Lifeways addresses the homeless, because they don't give it enough time. But that's a whole different issue. But more than a few months, maybe 6 months, is just not temporary. And we've extended a lot of grace as far as the legalities of the thing are concerned, and I really appreciated, Councilman Bentley encouraging us to just, let's hold let's hold Camp Hope accountable for what they promised to do, and which should be to find a permanent solution. So I know Missy said last council meeting that or 2 council meetings ago, that she's working on a solution, but I also added to the agenda a letter I received from the board of the directors of Share the Warmth, that Share the Warmth of Hillsdale County is also working on a solution to provide permanent shelter here within the city, and I just wanted you to know that there's other people working towards the same ends. So hopefully that the city can come up, or the residents of the city can provide a way to help these people that have fallen on, through choices or circumstances on these hard times. And I welcome any questions or discussion. And Bob, did you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you covered it well. Thank you, sir. Anybody else in council any comments or questions regarding that meeting? Okay, thank you, Councilman Soal. Appreciate it. Oh, Councilman Ben.
I guess I'd ask the attorney, where do we stand? Do we have a date coming up?
I have not received any citation from the district court to schedule anything for a hearing, so I don't know if a citation was issued. If one was, I don't know when, because presumably if it was within the last month or so, I would have had a hearing date by now. So as it sits right now, nothing has come to me to do anything with.
Mr. Mackey, do you know, can you answer that?
I know that a citation was issued. I'd have to check with Mr. Beaker to find out where that stands.
Is Mr. Beaker here? Is he not here?
He is not here.
I was my understanding, maybe my misunderstanding, the last meeting that the process was beginning as of the last meeting. A process, I don't know.
Well, if it was at the last meeting and they issued a citation, it depends when it gets served. So the police have to serve it first, and then it goes through the district court at that point. So that, if it was just at the last meeting, it would just be that I haven't received it yet. It usually takes a few weeks before the court schedules it for hearing and sends the notice to me.
Forgive me, I meant the last meeting, I believe, that you were at, so it would have been 2 meetings ago.
But I can't tell you because I don't know. I don't issue the citations. I only act on them when I get them from the court that tells me we have a hearing set.
So I guess my question is, do we have to take any action as council tonight to get anything?
No.
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
Matt, I think with Dave saying that the citation has been issued, the process has started, but just where we are in that process, maybe we can get an update at the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay, we'll get one from Mr. Beaker at the next meeting. Anybody else with any questions? Councilman Bruns.
I think maybe I misunderstood also at the last meeting what our path forward was going to be. I was under the impression that the ONG committee, is that what it was, public safety? Public safety committee was going to talk about hard deadlines, but maybe it's too early in the process to suggest anything. Deadlines for Missy to come into compliance.
Mr. Mackey?
If I remember correctly from the meeting that we had the discussion, I believe the citation was issued at the end of April. I believe that's correct. And then the discussion was that we were waiting, it was in the process, so it was in the system, and that Tom would eventually receive notice of a court hearing, and then, so we had time to see what was gonna happen while we were waiting for that court hearing, and Tom could, we would at that time to determine what our direction would be.
Councilman Bentley?
Yeah, I think we figured out it was the, I believe, May 2nd meeting that we're talking about. So it's been 6 weeks, I guess. So it's surprising, and it demonstrates that the gears of justice work slow, so I guess we'll be patient.
Tom, do you know, is there a general guideline on how long it takes to receive a notification like that historically?
I can't tell you because I don't know whether or not it's been served on. Typically, the way that it works is there's a notice that's issued first, and then subsequent, it tells you have to be in compliance by a certain date. If you're not, then a citation gets issued with the district court. That gets served by usually Detective Martin, so that might take, whatever he can actually serve the people with the defendant with the notice. And then after that, it takes a couple of weeks for the district court to process it, actually do a hearing date. Usually they contact the office and ask, what would be a good date of the dates that they hold to have the hearing. I did get an inquiry today from the district court asking for some dates in July, so that could be one of the citations. They don't tell me which dates, so they just tell me they have some schedule. So my assumption would be if the process started that far back, pretty soon I should be getting something from the district court to schedule it in July.
Well, I guess I'll ask. Missy, have you been served?
Thank
Just
you.
a simple yes or no.
Oh, simply yes or no? Oh, I was
Yes.
gonna explain to you what was said to me, but, no, I have not been served.
Okay, thank you. So somewhere, Matt, in the process still.
But I can explain why.
Okay, if you'd like
Do you
to
want me
take,
to tell you?
if council does not mind, we'll take a quick moment to come up and explain why.
So from what I understand, the same thing that happened when I was cited at my warehouse, a nonprofit organization is run by a board. You cannot own a nonprofit. The citation that was done in the warehouse, because they said that that's besides the point, was put in my personal name. You cannot put a citation for a nonprofit organization in someone's personal name. Now, you can list the organization first and then a resident agent, but you can't put it in a personal person's name. And the same thing happened again with the May 15th citation. So we'll see what the court does again, if they're gonna take me personally to court when I have a board of directors above me. So we'll see what happens.
The paperwork snafu. So, thank you for the explanation, appreciate that. Anybody else on council with any questions regarding that public safety meeting? If not, then we will move on to new business.